2. And we're talking fat quarters today. And so you know that whenever we have a theme week, I usually try to do like kind of set up the week on a Monday. By the way, thank you, Sherry, for hanging out with me today.
Yeah.
Normally she's not here with me. Normally I'm all by my lonesome on Mondays, but I said, Sherry, come do this with me. And so I kind of set the groundwork, the foundation, if you will, for what we're doing for the rest of the week. So today we're talking fat quarters. And I know this might be very beginner information for some, because most of you, if you are on here, you probably know what a fat quarter is. And what we always like to tease around here is we say, no, a fat quarter is not a body part, right? It's not a body part.
I have more than one fat quarter.
Yeah, that's right. Got one here, right? So they're going to give you some different ideas to what to do with fat quarters. But I will tell you, so many times, that's one of the first questions. Carol is a beginner. Yay, Carol. Welcome, welcome. One of the first questions we get asked from someone especially who's brand new to quilting, someone might come in and we'll say, all of our fat quarters are on sale today or whatever. And they'll say, what's a fat quarter? And you know what? It reminds you of sometimes we in this quilting world don't think about some of the terms that we use that people might not be familiar with, right?
Yeah, because it doesn't, it makes sense, but it's hard to figure it out on your own, what that is.
Yeah. So it's no big deal. Like the fact that we're going to, explain about kind of what a fat quarter is. I hope you will know it's because it's something that not everybody knows. So, and this will be a good review. So when we talk about fat quarters, by the way, we have an amazing giveaway.
She gets to do all the fun stuff.
Oh my gosh. No, it's going on all week, my friend.
I know, but
it's going on all week. But I'm going to grab something real quick and pull out a fat quarter. Okay. We have a great giveaway that we're going to be doing at the end today. So you do not want to miss it. All right. This little bundle of yumminess, I call it, is a fat quarter. Now, why is it called a fat quarter? Well, let's talk some math, shall we? So 1 yard is 36 inches. Okay. 36 inches. When you go to the fabric store and you get fabric cut off at 36 inches, that is 1 yard. So what is the width usually on fabric, would you say?
It says 45 a lot of times, but it's not usually quite 45.
It's usually between 42 and 45, right?
Yeah.
Especially depending on how big their salvage is and whatnot. So you can always plan on about between 42 to 45.
Those cute salvages come at a price.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So usually between 42 to 45. So when we cut a fat quarter, what would be a quarter yard of fabric?
So 36 times,
divided by
4 would be 9.
Right? Mm-hmm. So 36 divided by 4 would be 9. That would be 9 inches. So if you were to cut a quarter yard of fabric, you would get a 9-inch strip that would be 9 by about 42 inches, right? Okay. So then what is a fat quarter? Well, a fat quarter is like double but half. If you will.
Make sense of that math.
Yeah. So a fat quarter, instead of cutting it 9 inches by 21 or 22 inches, a fat quarter, you're actually going to get more width. So it actually you bump it to 18 inches, which is half a yard, but then you cut it on the fold, which is half of the length, or the width, I should say. So that ends up being, some of you have guessed it correctly, 18 by 20 or 18 by 22 inches around, again, depending on how wide that is. Now, so that is what a fat quarter is. It's a fat quarter of a yard. Okay. So 18 inches by 22 is usually what we look at it. Now, Sherry, got a question for you.
Yep.
Why would someone want a fat quarter over a quarter of a yard?
Because a lot of your projects actually are bigger than 9 inches.
Exactly. Exactly. Bingo.
Like if you want a 10-inch circle,
you're not going to get it at a quarter of a yard because you don't have the width this way. So that's why you'd want a fat quarter, is because you have 18 by 22. Judy says it's easier just to buy the yard. I totally agree. Okay. And yes, Janet, it's because of the width. You are absolutely correct. So this is an example of a fat quarter. We have the selvage right here at the bottom. And this piece was cut at the fold. All right. So it was cut in half. Had I gone a quarter of a yard, it would have been half this. You can see that, but it would be a lot longer because it would be by 42, 44 inches and so forth. So this is why you've got the 9 inches here, the 18 inches here by 22. What do you guys think? Does that all make sense? I hope that makes sense. And that's why most times there are some shops that don't cut their fat quarters, but most do. And they'll cut their fat quarters and they will have them in little piles folded up. Okay. And we like to usually keep our fat quarters with the bolt of fabric. And this is what's so fun when you go shopping. You're just like, ooh, I want a little bit of this and I want a little bit of that and a little bit of this. So it's like, I call it candy for quilters, right?
True story.
Yeah, exactly. So that is basically what a fat quarter is. Now, I have a handout for you guys today, and it's just a little freebie. I'll bring it up on the screen here to show you. But this might be something kind of nice to put in your sewing room or like in a file. If you're trying to figure out how many squares can I get out of a fat quarter, here you go.
That is nice.
Yeah, you can get 99 2-inch squares. Did you realize that?
No, that's a lot.
That is a lot, isn't it?
And my 99.
I don't know. Why not 100? I don't know.
100?
So it's 56 2.5-inch squares, 42 3-inch squares, 3.5 or 30 3.5-inch squares, 20 4-inch squares, 16 4.5, 12 5-inch. You also get 12 5.5. There's not enough to get a little bit more. And then 6-inch squares, you can get 9. Okay. I mean, obviously you can get one 18 by 18-inch square.
But I love that because that shows you like how many patterns you can, like it's a good conversion for your pattern to go to how many fat quarters you need.
Exactly. So yeah. I mean, I should have just continued with 7-inch squares. I mean, if you're going to get 7-inch squares, you could do 2 across, and you could do 3. I should have added that. Maybe I'll have to do another one too. Because you could get 6 7-inch squares, right? Am I thinking of that right?
7.
Because you'd have 14 and then 21. Yeah. With 3. Yeah, you could get 6, right? Yep. So anyway, hopefully that helps you out. If you're trying to figure out like how much can you get out of a fat quarter, right? I use fat quarters all the time. All the time.
Well, like you said, like it's almost like penny candy. Like when you go to the penny candy store when that existed before the $5 gallon of gas.
Yeah.
And you would take like, oh, I want like 2 Swedish fish and I want 2 Sour Patch Kids and I want, because that's what I do with when I'm buying fat quarters. It's not like I usually have a project in mind. It's more like I'm gonna make a collection here. So it's like, ooh, I love this fabric and I love this fabric and I love this color and this is a fun print. And
yeah, exactly. A lot of times when I just don't even know what I want, but I love the fabric, I just end up getting fat quarters. And I know some people say, well, just buy the yard or buy 2 yards. Well, that would be lovely, right? But if you want to get more for your, more for your buck, if you will, then you know, you want a little bit of something, especially for those of you who do a lot of applique. Fat quarters are perfect for, right? So
and really so many quilts are really designed with fat quarters because it's such a common cut. Like
exactly.
I actually think
a lot of projects are
that one was designed. I kind of think
based off of fat quarters. Yeah. Definitely. Good point, Elisa. I do this too. She says whenever she visits a new quilt shop, she will buy a few fat quarters as a souvenir. And that is so true. When I went to, when I've been to different places, Janet, when I've been to different places around the country, I always buy at least 1 or 2 fat quarters. And then I can go back to it and I'm like, oh, I got this in Hawaii, or I got this somewhere else.
Do you remember them though?
Some I do.
Some I do.
Not
some
all
I'm
of
like,
them.
I got this great fabric. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
It's super cute.
It's super cute. I know it was my souvenir, which my kids make fun of me because, you know, what are you getting for a souvenir? Fabric. Don't you have that fabric in your store, Mom? Oh, probably. You know, but I might not. Deidre's right. She said it's like a buffet. You don't want to eat everything, but you want a little bit of everything.
And start with dessert.
Yeah. Just have the layer cake then.
Yeah.
Or the jelly roll if you're talking dessert, right? So yeah, for sure. Bridget says she loves fat quarters but doesn't want to cut them. She just wants to pet them, especially when she buys a fat quarter collection. Yes. Oh, that is so true. So true. Sharon said that we're putting her in the mood to go fat quarter shopping. It's so fun. Do you guys know, I know this isn't great for everyone who's watching, but for our locals, every Friday is Fat Quarter Friday, and our fat quarters are $1 off. Yeah. So normally they're $3.50 each, and they are $2.50 each on Fat Quarter Friday.
It makes it
yeah.
That might be when I buy mine.
Right. Probably. It's a really good deal.
It just makes it so I'm like, ooh, I can get more.
Yeah, that's right. So. And of course, if you're not local and there, you know, like there's a certain line of fabric you want, you can always call us and we can get that for you. So anyway, so those are just a few thoughts on fat quarters. And for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about some ways. Do you have the blank ones?
They're right there.
Oh, there we go. We're going to talk about some ways to organize your fat quarters. Okay. So, you guys were so funny. So Sherry and Johnny, after theme number 1 on Thursday.
After it went so well on Thursday.
There you go. They were talking about fabric storage, and someone had mentioned, well, you guys have those fabric organizers, and they're like, oh, no. Kris is talking about those next week because I had a plan. And here we go. So anyway, so I had a plan for these, but this is something we just got in. Now, Sherry, I have to say, I loved what you and Johnny, your segment you talked about. I loved like the comic book. Mm-hmm. What do you call them? Cardboard
boards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was great. But there is this product out there called fabric organizers. Tuck, fold, and store. And so this is where you can store your fat quarters or even yardage if you wanted to, crease free. Interesting, right? Crease free. And it's actually a great way. You could store your bindings on here. You could store ribbon. It doesn't just have to be fat quarters. And it also will fit most standard bookshelves, the size it is. And it's acid free and reusable. And so here's one of those ways that we did it. So tell us about how do you do this?
So here's our little fat quarter.
Okay.
So it just sticks. There's like this little hole that's in there. Little geeky hole. So you fold your fat quarter in. So the long way. That's how we did it. Mm-hmm. And you just folded it in half, and in half, and then in half, so it would fit in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Anne says she's got about 200 of these and still needs more. Oh, wow, Anne. That's amazing. You must be very, very organized for sure. I love that. So what do you see the benefit of doing something like that, Sherry?
I see that it's like, especially if you just added like a little pin or a little something. I mean, you could stick them on your shelf or whatever and it would hold it. But I sometimes with fat quarters, and I kind of liked how you said for your bindings. Because I think that that would be a great way to do.
Yeah, I think
your
so
bindings,
too.
especially. I don't know. Like a lot of times you have just that little bit left over or whatever. Just start sewing them together and make it a scrappy binding eventually.
Yeah.
But I think just the fact that it will go around there and then
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, then I can keep going.
Sorry.
She's leaving me. So, and just that it goes around it. And then like, I mean, if you have fabrics that go together, you could put them in on here so that they all just stayed together all the time. And then as you're like sorting through things, they're still together. Because that's sometimes what I do is I think, I thought I bought like 3 from that line or 4 from that line that I really liked and then went together, and one got used, the other 3 are in different places in my sewing room. So that's kind of a benefit, is that they stays together as the collection a little bit. So I like that idea. And just the fact that this kind of opens up a lot of different storage, because you could store them on the shelf this way. If you've got a taller shelf, you could store them flat. You could store them sideways.
Yeah. So, that's awesome. Sorry.
She was checking on it. So, I mean, it does make it nice. I'm guessing that these will also fit in those little drawers, like little plastic drawers. They're going to be a good size for that. So,
yeah, definitely. So what questions do you guys have, or thoughts that you have on this? Marianne says that she was looking at that and could see a mini quilt rack. I would want slits to just hang my pre-folded fat quarters like mini quilts. Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
That's a good idea.
I like that. Barb says she uses them for a variety of storage. She uses bobby pins to hold the fabric in place, and she doesn't get pricked if she uses straight pins. Good idea, Barb. I love that.
Great idea there.
And Annette has a good idea too. A wonder clip would hold them. Yeah. I love that idea as well. Excellent. Yeah, those are super fun.
Kris has been playing with this little elastic.
Oh, I have been. I keep wanting to like.
She's gonna shoot you guys.
Or someone. Right. There we go. Shannon says she'd use them for all her zippers. Ooh. I like that.
Oh. I like that a lot.
And Sue said you could also label the board and know which collection it is. Love that. Sonia was used paper clips. Paper clips, I bet.
I was like,
there you go. A good idea, Sonia. And let's see. Deidre says, I'd be curious. I currently use comic board with clip plastic. With clips.
Is that like the Wonder Clips?
Maybe that's what? I don't know. Tell us more, Deidre. Let's see. Deidre, she's also done ribbon. Janet asked, can you cut those and make mini bolts? Yeah, you probably could. Couldn't you cut that in half?
Yeah.
Although you have, well, it's got these little, see, it's got the little things that come out. So you'd have to cut it right there in between.
She says Deidre says not plastic clips, not Wonder Clips. I wonder if it's like chip clip things or food, those things.
I don't know. Oh. Shirt clips. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
Linda says she has so many that are on bookshelves and close together, so no fastening is needed.
Oh.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. You could, if you were having, oh my goodness, wouldn't your room look so organized? Oh,
it never does. I should buy these.
What would that be like? Oh, alligator clips. That's a good idea. Wow. Okay, you guys, you have some excellent ideas.
You are saying, like, if you want more yardage, if you don't want just fat quarters, don't use each of these, but make it like as a mini bolt. Like,
that's true. You could do the yardage on it as one big one, right?
Yeah.
Instead of all the little ones. So anyway, that's something new that we just brought in and thought that you guys might find that really interesting. And then there's another product we also brought in for fat quarter storage.
Oh, I think they're going to love this one.
Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Excuse me while I get a forklift. Here we go. Look at this, baby. Woo!
It's so beautiful.
Is that a beauty or what? Oh my goodness. So this is a zipper pouch. And this is so you can take your fat quarters on the go. There we go.
I
What do you
need
think,
this.
Sherry?
I love this one.
Oh my gosh, it's like a suitcase.
Yes.
Let me pull this
Do you want
back.
me to hold it back here? You got it.
Are you saying you're stronger?
I'm just gonna stand up and hold it.
There you go. Look at that baby. Isn't that
Ooh,
nice?
Some Kimber bells in there.
Isn't that
Whose
beautiful?
collection is this?
Oh my gosh, it is a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. So this would be really nice. Sharon said that would be awesome because it's dust free.
Yeah, look.
And Barb says she has 2 zipper pouches. She loves them. That is cool.
So look at that. Now you can just like get them out. It's got this divider in there.
Mhm.
That is nice.
Isn't that wonderful? So we counted how many fat quarters we were able to stick in here. And there are 120 fat quarters in here. So 40, 40, and 40. You could probably fit even some more in there, I bet.
Yeah, maybe a few. Not a lot. It's not
But
like you're going to do
it's about
another
a-
50 more in there. But
It's about
a few.
120. I would think this would be so nice, especially if you were, if you had a bunch of fat quarters you were collecting and you wanted to be able to see them all in one place.
Well, and what's
right?
nice is like you can do like your Christmas fabrics. You
Mhm.
can, either your
Oh,
whole
you could
tote
sort
or
it.
your sort
Yeah.
by, like just this section of this tote.
Exactly. So that's kind of a fun little zipper pouch that we have.
And it's easy to take on the go.
There you go. There's your suitcase. I would take this through TSA and they'd probably pull me aside and say, excuse me, ma'am, we have no idea what is in there. It's way too dense, right? So that's kind of a fun way to store those